from the National Service of the Liberia Broadcasting System. Welcome to Newsline, a 30-minute presentation of the most reliable news from Liberia and the rest of the world. Today is Wednesday, the 4th of October, 2023. I am Vafli Kamara presenting. In the headlines, United Nations Human Rights Office expresses concern over emerging trend of violence ahead of elections in Liberia. LBS Deputy Director General Jada Griffield alarms over alleged death threats from unknown individuals. Police makes additional arrests amid ongoing investigation into the Lofa electoral violence. And away from home, fire kills dozens of people at an illegal oil refinery in Nigeria's Rivers State. These and many more stories, including sports, the weather reports, the news in French, are coming up. First, Emmanuel Colley and the news bulletin.
President George Weah has lauded citizens of Maryland County for the continuous confidence report in his leadership. President Weah thanked Marylanders for such demonstration of love and urged them to vote for the continuation of the CDC administration on October 10. The Liberian leader was speaking Tuesday during the campaign rally with citizens in Plebo, Maryland County. At the same time, House Speaker Dr. Buffer Chambers is rallying citizens of Plebo to maintain the country's peace ahead of the elections. Speaker Chambers said the maintenance of peace is pivotal to enhance the national growth and development. He hailed the president for the progress made so far in the protection of the country's peace. Speaker Chambers described the gains made in fostering peace, despite the political differences, as commendable. The House Speaker then urged citizens to unite behind President Weah as he seeks a second-term mandate to continue his development agenda for a prosperous Liberia. At the same time, Coalition for Democratic Change campaign team has dismissed report that its political leader, President George Weah, is flying his private helicopter to tour the southeast. CDC National Campaign spokesperson Councilor Kanyo Bagbala said, contrary to the misleading and cheap propaganda, President Weah has been traveling by road since the start of his campaign activities outside Montserrat County. Councilor Bagbala made the clarification Wednesday on the Super Morning Show.
The president in his presidential convoy going through the road system in this part of the country, and he will continue to travel by road. Interestingly, it is this road that these people who ran this country for 12 years abandoned, left the southeast vulnerable, impassable, very dangerous roads here that this president is now trying to fix.
He described the statement as untrue and failed propaganda, urging Liberians not to give credence to blatant lies and misinformation. The United Nations Human Rights Office, the OHCHR, has expressed a concern about violence linked to the upcoming elections in Liberia on October 10. On Friday, at least 2 people died and 20 others were injured during clashes between supporters of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change and the opposition Unity Party in Foya, Lofa County. A statement from the United Nations Human Rights Office also pointed out other outbreaks of violence in Nimba, Montserrat, and Grand Kidmont counties ahead of next Tuesday's election. OHCHR spokesperson Seth Magango said the organization has also documented 8 attacks on journalists by various political actors, 2 of which resulted in injuries. The OHCHR also condemned the use of language which could amount to hate speech. LBS Deputy Director General for Public Affairs Jada Griffield has alarmed over threats on his life by some unknown individuals using telephone calls from private numbers. According to Director Griffield, he has received threats that if he does not stop what he termed as continued attacks against Unity Party's political leader, Ambassador Joseph Boaka, he and his family will lose their lives. In a formal letter of complaint addressed to Police Inspector General Conan Patrick Tudu, the LBS Deputy Director boss recounted on Wednesday morning a female caller threatening sending men to burn down his house. Director Griffield is therefore requesting police protection for him and his family until the elections are over. Police in Lofa County have arrested a man believed to be one of the prime suspects in the recent Foya violence. Suspect A.B. Yanyango was arrested along the Sierra Leone border in Lofa following massive search. Prior to his arrest, he was reportedly captured in a well-calculated video with a single-barrel shotgun during the violence. The arrested AB now brings to 26 the number of people arrested and invited for interrogation after the violence last week. The Ministry of Education has begun the distribution of motorbus to 98 district education officers across the country. The ministry's Director of Communications, Marcin Blayton, disclosed a similar gesture will be done to 7 county education officers in Sano, Grand Crew, Riverside, Maryland, River G, Grand Jide, and Bapulu counties. Speaking on ELBC Education at midweek, Mr. Blayton reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to providing logistical support to all district and county education officers to enhance their work. He noted that initially government through the Ministry of Education distributed cars to Liberia's 15 county education officers. Meanwhile, Arise project coordinator under the Education Ministry, Abraham Kezelu, said the project is massively impacting students in Liberia. Arise is improving results in secondary education. Mr. Kezelu said the project is currently working along with the Ministry of Education to build 28 senior secondary schools across the country. And the president of the Liberia Ministers Network Fellowship, Archbishop Dr. Ola Jala, warns Liberian politicians and their supporters refrain from utterances that have the propensity to further divide the country. Dr. Jala called on political leaders to examine their actions and works in the interest of peace and unity during this critical period in the country's history. In this course, Dr. Jala is appealing to the international community to continue engaging Liberia through the National Elections Commission for the holding of a free, fair, credible, and transparent election. Meanwhile, Archbishop Jala has called on members, churches of Liberia to declare 2 days fast and prayer for continuous guardian and protection of Liberia's peace and democracy.
Emmanuel Cordy with the news bulletin. You're listening to Newsline on ELBC Radio. One of the big stories we're following this afternoon: United Nations Human Rights Office expresses concern over emerging trend of violence ahead of elections in Liberia. Well, there has been recent speculation that CDC standard bearer, President George Weah, is using his private helicopter to tour the southeast instead of traveling by road. But such rumor has been criticized by CDC National Campaign Team. Here is a report by Frederick